Welcome to Lesson 3. This is Part 1. Don't worry, there's only 2 parts in this lesson. In this part, we will start by creating our sprite for our player. We will create the player's game object sprite, create our animation, and learn how to create input controllers. I started creating a basic sprite with the animations already. Follow along to learn how to create your own sprite and animations. I will be using the animation editor, so it will be pretty basic. Double click somewhere on the game layout to create a new object type. Now search for sprite. Name the sprite player. Honestly, you can name your objects anything you want. When you see the cross on the screen, just click to place it. Now the animation editor will open. First, we will select the rectangle tool or press R. You can choose whatever color you want. I'm going with the darker blue. Create the body for the player and add arms and legs. Then you're going to create the eyes and mouth. Right click on the frame and duplicate it, each time just slightly changing the position of the mouth. This bottom area is the frame panel. You don't have to add extra frames if you don't want to. I wanted to add an outline for my player, so I picked a black color and I used the line tool to trace around my sprite. The line tool hotkey is L. You can add stuff if you want. I gave my dude a hat. Really just play around and see what you want. The origin determines the rotation point of an image. It is where X and Y coordinates are aligned to. Now go to the origin point. I will place my origin point to the top left by right-clicking it and quick assigning it to the top left. You can also use the numpad if you want to. Everything corresponds to the positions. So for example, 7 on the numpad is to the top left, 9 is to the top right, 1 is to the bottom left, and 3 is to the bottom right. In this course, we won't be changing the collision, but you can play around with it to see what you like most. If you click the animation icon and its properties, you can change the speed and decide if it loops or not. I'm going to set this to loop. For a more complex sprite animation, you may want to change the speed. By default, the animation will be named Animation 1. Right-click this to rename this to idle. Now we are finished with the animation editor. Just go ahead and name or rename the player sprite if you haven't to player. I have already done this, so let's continue with the lesson. Behaviors are actions of the object type and can be referenced in the event sheets. You can find this by clicking an object you created, and on the properties panel, look for the behaviors group. Since we haven't created any yet, just click create behaviors. I know there's a lot of behaviors. Don't even worry about it. I will guide you step by step on the different behaviors throughout the course. Start by selecting the 8 directional behavior. In the directional behavior properties, set the direction to 4 directions instead of 8. Set the angle to no instead of smooth. And uncheck the allow sliding if it's enabled. An object type, as the name implies, is just a type of object in your project. An object type can be a text, sprite, tile map, or even keyboard and mouse. We will use many different object types throughout this course, so you will get to see the different uses of certain object types. To add more flexibility to your game, we will add a keyboard and mouse object type. To keep everything organized, we will create subfolders. Organization is the key to finding what you need when you need it. Right-click the object type folder on the project panel and select Add Subfolder. You can name this whatever you like. I will name this Controllers. Okay, we set up what we needed to prepare for the player's input movement. In the second part of this lesson, we will actually start using the event sheet where all this magic happens. See you in the second part of this lesson. Good job in completing this lesson, and good luck on your future project.